Hello guys, welcome back to the Data Structures and Algorithm course brought to you by Asha Kancha Foundation. So in this lecture, we will cover further concepts of linked list and what are the advantages of using a linked list rather than an array. And we will also gonna learn two new concepts of linked list, that is doubly linked list and circular linked list. So let's start the lecture. So first we will discuss what are the advantages of linked list. So very first advantage of linked list is that they are dynamic in nature and memory is allocated at runtime. In the arrays, we have to pre-allocate some amount of memory while initiating the array, but that is not in the case of linked list. And the second advantage is insertion and deletions are constant time operations, so there is no need to shift nodes as we have to do with arrays. So I guess this is pretty obvious. So I'm not explaining it further because I have explained in the previous video. So other data structures like queue stacks, which we're gonna cover in the next lecture, are easily implemented using linked list. So we will discuss this thing during that lecture only. So let's skip that. So let's see some polynomials. If I want to ask that, can you implement these polynomials using arrays, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of using operations on these polynomials with arrays and then the linked list? So this is basically some given polynomials. We have to just store the coefficients related to the power of the exponents. So we can store them in arrays or in linked list. So there are some issues in storing polynomials with arrays. So we have to uh, we have to create a very large size array in which we have to store many zeros. So because we have to pre-allocate some amount of memory in use while using arrays. So this is the biggest disadvantage of using an array. So we will then think of using storing polynomials in using linked list. So let assume that p1 and p2 be any two polynomials. So these polynomials are stored as linked list. Each node contains exponent and coefficient values in sorted or in decreasing order of exponents. Sorry, the addition operation is defined like you is it can be achieved by adding the terms of same exponential values, same adding the values of coefficients of same exponents. So we can store the coefficients and exponents of each term in in these kind of arrays. And we have p1 and p2 arranged like this. See, we have five, these are basically nodes. We have made a node which is linked to this another node and which is linked to the another node. So this is how we created a polynomial. So uh, in the first node of the linked list, we have the coefficient and the other value in the node is the value of the exponent. So we have P1 and P2 arranged in a linked list in decreasing order of exponents. We can now scan these and add like terms, means which have same exponents values. And now we have to store the resulting term only if it has non-zero coefficient. So the number of terms in the result polynomial would be P1 plus P2, which we do not need to know in advance as in the case of arrays. So we will use as much space as there in P1 and P2 and no extra space would be used. So how can we add to polynomials? Uh, pass through each list. So let's assume the length of the list is n, first list is n, and the length of the second list is m. So the time complexity would be theta of n plus m. This is a very tight bound, so this is not an upper bound. So assume that first polynomial is this. We go through the linked list once, and then the second polynomial is this, and we also go through this linked list once. So we will add the like terms, and if the and otherwise just add the node in the linked list. So this is how we will gonna add this. this is pretty straightforward. You can just take a look and understand it. So there can be a further operation which can be done using linked list. So for multiplication, we can do repeated addition, and this is just the application of the addition concept. So now, we will talk about doublet linked list. These are some advanced concept application of linked list. So uh, doublet linked list permits traversal of list in both directions. It is very useful when navigation in both direction is needed. It is used by browsers to navigate forward and backward, and various applications use this to redo and undo functionalities. Like you have games, you have word you can do control C, control Y to redo and undo. Okay, so for convenience, a doublet linked list has a header node and a trailer node. They are also called sentinel nodes, indicating both the ends of a list. So this is a doublet linked list. So the first node represents the header and the last node represents the trailer. And we have pointers pointing to the next and previous pointers pointing to the previous nodes. So the basic difference from singly linked list and doublet linked list is that each node contains two links, that is one next and other uh, previous, and there are two extra nodes, header and trailer, which contain no elements. So in doubly linked list, each node points to its previous node and its next node, and header only points to the next node because this is the first node of the linked list, and trailer points only to the previous node because it is the last element in the linked list. So this is the basic doubly linked list node class implemented in Java. So we have assigned a private object element. Object is a very generic class. I guess you must have learned this in Java programming course. And these next and previous are the links attached in the nodes of the doubly linked list. So this is pretty much similar to the singly linked list implementation. So now we will see how to insert an element at the head of a doubly linked list. So before the insertion, the the previous linked list would look like this. This is the header. This is the elements of the linked list. This is the trailer. So we have a new node to add. This is the new node which we have to add in this linked list, doublet linked list. So we will first create a new doublet linked list node, and we will uh, set the element which we have to set accordingly, and then we will update the links. We will update the header sorry, we will set the previous of the header because we have to insert this at the head. So first we will set the previous link of the header, a previous link of the newly created node to the header, and next link of the newly created node to the next of the header. And so we can see over here also, we will first change the previous link of the newly created node to the header and the next link to the next of the header. So these are represented using these arrows. You can take a look also if you have any query. So after the insertion, the doublet linked list would look something like this. So now we will see how to delete an element at the end of a doublet linked list. This is the linked list before the deletion. Now we want to delete this node from the end. So we will change the previous link of the we will change the previous link of this node which we have to delete to the trailer, and the next link of this and the next link of the previous of the deleted node would be set to the trailer, and the previous node of the deleted node, previous link of the deleted node would be null. So this is the pseudocode for this. You can take a look. After the deletion, the linked list would look something like this. So now we will talk about circular linked list. The circular linked list is a special type of linked list. It supports traversing from the end of the list to the beginning of the mark, making the list node point back to the head of the list. So a rear pointer is often used instead of a head pointer because in circle there in circle there is no need of a head pointer because there is so we have just a rear pointer which denotes the end of a circular linked list, and after the end we will come back to the beginning of the linked list. So what is the motivation behind a circular linked list? So circular linked lists are usually sorted. Circular linked lists are useful for playing video and sound files in looping mode because after the end we could start from the beginning, and they are also a stepping stone to implementing graphs. We will discuss about this in the next lectures. So this is a simple code to traverse the list. We'll first create a current pointer as we do in a single linked list, and we will go till we get a null. So in the circular linked list, since we have a rear pointer, we will move a current pointer till we meet this rear pointer, because if the current pointer meets the rear pointer, that means this is the end of the linked list and we will stop our traversing over here. So this is what the code will look like. Please to check please to code this on the IDE also. So now we will talk how to insert a node in a circular linked list. So if the circular linked list is empty, just you have to just create a new node and set this as the rear pointer because this is the only node in the linked list, and this is it. Let's see how can we insert if there are some elements already present in the circular linked list and we have to add the new node at the head of the linked list. So since we have the rear pointer of the circular linked list, we just set the we just set the new set the next of the rear node of circular linked list to the newly created linked list, and and first and we also have to store the next node of the rear node because that represents the head node before the insertion, and after creating the next after assigning the next of the rear to the newly created node, we will assign the next of the newly created node to the stored header because that was the previous head of the linked list. So now we will see how to insert in the middle of a circular linked list. So now we'll see how to insert a node at the end of a circular linked list. So to insert the node at the end, we just store the head pointer of the linked list, which we can get by which is the which is the next node of the rear pointer. So we'll store this as the current node, which is 10 over here, and we set the next link of the rear pointer to the newly created node, that is 17. So and then we create the next link of the newly created node to the stored current pointer, which is the head of the linked list. So that how we complete this loop and make and insert the node at the end of a circular linked list. So now we'll see how to delete a single remaining node. So it is a very basic example. So if we delete the only node present in the circular linked list, the rear pointer would point to null and there would be nothing in the linked list. So let's see how to delete a so so let's see how to delete the head node from a circular linked list. To delete the head node from the circular linked list, we have to store the head and the node next to the head pointer, which is 20 over here. So we'll first store this node in some variable, and we will then assign the next node, assign the next link of the rear pointer, that is 70, to this stored node, that is 20. So this blue line would be our newly formed circular linked list, and this was the previous one, which is represented by dashed lines. So now we'll see how to delete a node at the end of a circular linked list. So to delete this node, we have to go a node previous to the rear, which is the second last node in the circular linked list. We then and we also need to store the head pointer of the circular linked list, which is 10 over here, and then we will assign the next link of the previous to this head pointer, so that our newly formed circular linked list would look something like this, which is represented by solid dashed lines, and the previous linked list was represented by these dashed blue lines. So this is all about linked lists. So we have discussed single linked list, doubly linked list, and the more advanced version of linked list, that is circular linked list. We have also discussed the various application in which these type of linked lists are used. So this is the end of this topic, and now in the next video we will discuss about stack data structure. So this is a very interesting topic in my opinion, and I these like this also. So if you have any questions regarding the lecture, or any concept in the linked list, you can comment on below, or if you have any query, you can also reach out to us at our instant Facebook pages of Asha Kansa Foundation, which I also have mentioned in the description. You can check it out and follow us over here. It is highly recommended to follow us on these pages. So hope to see you in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, happy learning.